Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Virtual Spiritual Saturday. So today we'll be, of course, as usual, we continue on our reading of the Promise, right? And before I go on, let me refresh the screen so I can see who's on. And it's refreshing. Hold on. It's loading. So as before, I'll do a slight recap because I think the last session was mainly to do with a bit of America. While Rinpoche was in America, I did some reading, and then on to India, on to becoming a monk, right? And his recognition. I remember. Oh yeah, I think that's where I stopped, the recognition bit part. Oh, my screen just went blank. Just give me a moment. So, how is everybody? Is everybody doing well? Oh, finally. Okay, I see a lot of people on. I see a lot of early risers. Yinping, Jacinta, Mark, Alice of course, Sukfan, and other people online. Good morning. So today we'll continue on our reading, right? So the last session was about Rinpoche in America and his devotion to his teacher, Kechara Rinpoche, his root guru, and that motivated him to become a monk. And then on later when he went to India and then he met his teachers there, and that's where he got on to becoming recognized. And he did a lot of work along the way, of course. I've got a comment here from Mark. This book is precious. I'm used to FB technical issues. Are you having issues, Mark? What you can do, I don't know whether you can hear me, but you can actually, what you do is you refresh your screen, and if you can't see me properly, that should do the trick, all right? So before that, we've covered so far about Rinpoche from his incarnation all the way to his birth in Taiwan, of his early childhood there in Taiwan, and then him being brought over to America and his childhood in America, and under his foster parents, and the situation is like, what it was like growing up in America on the East Coast, right, New Jersey. So what happened was because of a clash between his aspirations and his parents' wishes for him to be a normal kid, a normal child, growing in America, getting a job and all that. That was not what Rinpoche wanted. So that culminated him running away. And he, on his fourth attempt, he went to all through America to the West Coast, to specifically Los Angeles. And interestingly, Rinpoche actually wanted not to go to Los Angeles or California. What Rinpoche actually wanted to do was to go all the way to Hawaii. But he ended up in California, Los Angeles, California instead. Okay, so what happened is Rinpoche, being a young man, young man, late teenager in America and in Los Angeles. So he had to work 3 jobs to make ends meet. It's not easy. And I had to explain that a little bit, and the contrast between, along the way. What I do is I don't read so much at the beginning. What I did was I spoke about the significance and how it made a difference between Rinpoche and us, and also because there's a huge cultural difference in a sense that from the East and West, and I think that is what makes Rinpoche such an engaging, dynamic teacher as well, because he's Tibetan, Mongolian. He's from an Asian background, ethnically, and then he went to America. And then in America, what happened is he was educated and brought up in the Western secular manner, secular education, and in school, and he got a secular education, and then so he's well versed on both sides of I don't know, the Atlantic, from the Western perspective, from the Eastern, from spiritual perspective. So combining both worlds, Rinpoche was able to deliver the Dharma in such a dynamic, such a wonderful way that we come to know him and love his teachings today. Right? So that's who Rinpoche is. I can go on and on. It's one thing I like about this session is talking about Rinpoche, because firstly, it's Rinpoche's life. Secondly, what I like about Rinpoche was he is very expressive, and especially about his thoughts and feelings. So I have an understanding. I don't fully understand every aspect, because Rinpoche's mind and Rinpoche himself, there's so many facets of his life, much more than a normal person. And but because Rinpoche is so expressive, so I've over the years, because I've known Rinpoche for 17, 18 years now. So it kind of, I kind of understand Rinpoche from a little bit more than most people, because of, by sheer proximity. In a way, I'm close to Rinpoche, and then at the same time, I've witnessed a lot of things the last 17, 18 years, and also listen to what Rinpoche has to say, and his thoughts and his feelings. And I appreciate it because I've learned a lot from Rinpoche sharing it with me and some of Rinpoche's closest students, and also the other students as well in teachings, you can see. So I'm able to deliver what I know about Rinpoche's life to you guys. So it makes more sense, not makes more sense, so it gives you a more deeper perspective, a more broader perspective of Rinpoche's life than what is written in the book. So I can read it. Some parts I will read it because it is very well written. Then I'll give you another perspective of it, right? If you have any questions, ask me. Go ahead, please. No problem. And at last we have aircon. Just now we couldn't turn on the aircon. It's very hot here in Malaysia, So anyway, let's carry on. I was at Rinpoche's incarnation. Oh, where is it? His recognition. Let me see. Okay, this part I need to read it out because there's a lot of details I might miss. And so it's good that I read it out to you guys and ask away if you have any questions, right? So I'm on page 215. If you have the book with you right now, I'm on page 215. Or you can click on a link. There's a link in the video there above. See more. You just click see more, and then you see a link. You can view the whole book online. Not a problem. It's faster if you download it. Just to let you know. Okay, on page 215, this is where I'm going to start reading, because the recognitions I already spoke about earlier. And then now I'm going to talk about, I'm going to read this section. And it has a very nice picture of Rinpoche and Drigong Rinpoche, one of his teachers, and his family. All right? After Rinpoche was officially enthroned, his half-brother Punsok, by his father Losang Gyatso, visited him in Ganden Monastery. Punsok was shocked by the condition of Rinpoche's quarters in the cow shed and reported this to his father when he returned to Taiwan. This part is interesting, when Punsok arrived, his half-brother came, right? All the monks rushed to Rinpoche and told him, hey, your brother is here. Come see your brother. Then they said, how do you know my brother? Then they say he looks exactly like you, except that he has hair. He's a layperson. So and then he met his brother, and then he showed his brother around and all that. Soon after, Losang Gyatso came to visit Rinpoche to see the conditions for himself. Losang Gyatso is his father, his birth father. Having had a strong connection and much respect for the Dharma and Sangha throughout his life, his father offered to sponsor Rinpoche's house, Tem Ladrang, in Ganden. It was his first gift to his son. Finally, Rinpoche moved from the difficult living conditions at the cow shed in Song Ladrang into his own Ladrang, his official private residence and office. This would become one of the most respected ladrangs in the monastery, known for its efficiency, care, and above all, strong guru devotion. Okay, let me explain what's a ladrang. A lama's ladrang. A ladrang is more than just a house, more than just a private office. It depends on the work of the lama. Some lamas are meditative, so their ladrangs are usually very small. Sometimes no ladrang at all. Sometimes just one student, two students to assist, or maybe just a small group, depending on the lama. Because some lamas, they are more meditative, they engage in more practice, and seldom meet people, seldom give teachings, seldom do rituals. For others lah. And so they don't do much work. So the people around them in the ladrang, assisting them is a bit small. Will be smaller because they do more different type of work, of course, on the meditation cushion, of course. And some ladrangs, depending on the lama, some have a lot. Okay, some like his father, Losang Gyatso, his own teacher, Kangsa Rinpoche, if I remember correctly. Trungsa Rinpoche. Yeah, Trungsa Rinpoche, apparently in Tibet, the ladrang of his father's guru had thousands of monks, 1,000 or 2,000 monks. Yeah, it's huge. And because he was a very esteemed lama in Tibet and attained, and also, so what happened is he had a lot of disciples. And then the disciples are part of his ladrang, and then he gives teachings to them, and then he does work with them, and that the ladrang is divided in different sections, something like that. So the ladrang's role is not than just a residence, more than just his private office. It depends on the lama. Okay, so some lama does do a lot of charity work, so they have an arm of the ladrang doing that. So it's kind of like a little mini organization in itself. So they have different departments within the ladrang. Some do fundraising, some do charity work, some organize teachings. Some lamas are great scholars, extremely esteemed scholar. So they give a lot of teachings. So sometimes the lama gives a lot of teachings, and he has senior students who also give teachings to others. So sometimes the lama will assign certain senior students to give teachings. So maybe they have a lot of teachers in the ladrang, a lot of scholars. So it depends, right? But generally, the lama's role, the main function is not do charity work or anything else. It's actually to give teachings, to turn the wheel of Dharma. All right? That is the main function of a lama. And so that's what a ladrang is. So I'm trying to give you perspective. And usually a lama will have assistants. And the more assistants the lama has, the more they're able to... You see, they do dual function. It's not just to organize his activities for the day, and it's also to promote the lama, to make relations with other ladrangs, to make relations with government officials, with the monastic officials, to make sure things are run, communication is being sent, sponsors. Sponsors is very important because lamas and monks, they don't work to earn a living, so they depend heavily on sponsorship. So when you have sponsorship, you need to maintain relationship, just like any other Buddhist organization. All right, we all run on donation, and yes, we have departments, and some lamas also they have disciples who are assistants, who are lay assistants who do business. And then through their business endeavors, they generate the profit. It's used to fund the ladrang. Same thing in organ Kechara also have something similar. But for some reason, so that's the thing. But the main objective is not to do business. The Lama's ladrang is never to do business. The Lama's ladrang is to promote the Lama, to make sure people have faith in the Lama, because the Lama will not go around out of humility, out of protocol, out of depending on the Lama. But it's usually seen as very bad if the Lama have to go out and seek donations and talk about himself and promote himself. It is the assistants, it is the students. It is the students. Okay, let me see. I have a comment. Hi, Iman, good morning. And Mr. Lam too. Hi, Pastor David. You mentioned that Rinpoche is a very expressive person. I read somewhere that Rinpoche is also a very private person. What's the difference between the two? As I thought a person who is private is usually quiet. Thanks, Iman. Okay, good point. Private means what? Rinpoche, all his life, have to, as a Lama, as a monk, as the work he engaged in, he has to meet a lot of people. And generally, Rinpoche do not like to meet a lot of people. Okay? And he doesn't like to talk so much, generally. That's his real character. And but he's put in the position he has to. Why does he need to put in a position he has to? Is because when he came to Malaysia to establish Kechara, no, he didn't come to establish Kechara, but to raise funds, right? Remember the story? So he came. No, I haven't gone to it yet. Sorry. So when he came to Malaysia, we don't have a big background here of serving a Lama, teaching Lama, and somehow we're all lay people. We don't know very much Dharma. We don't know very little Dharma. We don't know the protocols of the monastery. We don't know nothing. So Rinpoche has to, in order to establish the organization, he has to explain. He has actually, a lot of Rinpoche's work is doing the assistant's work. The assistant of the Lama is supposed to organize things, to encourage sponsorship, to find sponsorship, to nurture the disciples. It's not the Lama who goes out and make sure everybody, all the disciples is taken care of. It's actually the assistants and the senior students of the Lama. But the senior students of the Lama and the assistants are very green. They don't know their roles, and so Rinpoche has to do it. So he has to express. So he doesn't go around telling everybody. He tells the closest students so that we learn and we're able to share and make sure that people understand. Okay? But by nature, Rinpoche is a very private person. So towards the last, I would say, 5 years, of Rinpoche's life, he had wind down. I don't know if people understood or realized it, but Rinpoche has wind down. He gave less teachings and he delegated more. And he still meet people, and especially those who come to Kechara, but very rarely. And Rinpoche doesn't like to go out. I can tell you for sure. Rinpoche can stay for weeks and weeks in his room. Okay? And a lot of us will go crazy. I think a lot of us are going crazy. But I guess, being at home with the MCO thing. So Rinpoche is very private, but he's put in a position where he has to express. Because if he wants his organization to grow, he wants people to understand how to develop it according to tradition, according to how things will make it work, make it grow, the Dharma to grow. He has to express, he has to teach. And a lot of what he teach and express are more of actually what the assistants do, not really the Dharma. But it becomes together because it will result in the growth of Dharma anyway. All right. Anyway, where was I? Okay, I just read one paragraph. Let me carry on. Soon after, Losang Gyatso came to visit Rinpoche to see the conditions for himself. Having had a strong connection and much respect for the Dharma and Sangha throughout his life, his father offered to sponsor Rinpoche's house, Tem Ladrang in Ganden. It was his first gift to his son. Finally, Rinpoche moved from the difficult living conditions in a cow shed in Song Ladrang into his own Ladrang. his official private residence and office. This would become one of the most respected ladrangs in the monastery, known for its efficiency, care, and above all, strong Guru devotion. Okay, I read that already. Sorry, I reread it. It is important to note that this timing came when the father came was when Rinpoche's recognition came. Okay, the father is not sponsoring a monk to have a house. Rinpoche is sponsoring a Rinpoche, because when father came to visit, by protocol, what happened was he visited his teacher, and so his teacher was Khenso Rinpoche, the abbot of the monastery at that time. Khenso actually is the wrong. That time he was Ken Rinpoche Jampa Yeshe. So Ken Rinpoche Jampa Yeshe, the abbot of the monastery at that time, told his father, "Your son is being recognized as this Rinpoche, so and so Rinpoche, Tsem Rinpoche. So would you like to sponsor him, especially his enthronement and his ladrang?" Because lamas should have an official residence. So the father agreed immediately. That was how it went. All right. And then the next page is pictures of his subsequent recognition by Dorje Shukden, which is very nice. The 25 incarnations of Tsem Rinpoche. This is Ken. We call him Khenso Jampa Yeshe because most of the pictures depict him after his tenure as the abbot. And I mean, right now we're referring to him because he had passed away, and he is, Khenso is the correct term to mean the previous abbot. All right? Okay. Next page, 219. When any monk first enters the monastery, an existing monk of authority within the monastery must vouch for his entry and act as his mentor, and this is known as house monk. Rinpoche's house monk was Ganden Shatse's abbot at the time, His Eminence Khenso Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche. As well as receiving many teachings and guidance directly from Khenso Rinpoche, Tsem Rinpoche also served as his secretary and translator. Eventually, Rinpoche became the main assistant Changzo to Khenso Rinpoche, attending to his every need and helping his teachings to grow widely beyond the monastery. As Khenso Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche was also a close student of Song Rinpoche, he too resided at Song Ladrang at the same time that Tsem Rinpoche did. At that time, living conditions were very bad and not at all conducive or comfortable for the aging Lama, who was already in his 70s. With the promise of a new ladrang with much improved living conditions, Rinpoche decided to invite Khenso Rinpoche to live with him. Khenso Rinpoche readily agreed. Tsem Rinpoche offered Khenso Rinpoche the biggest room in Tsem Ladrang and took one of the smaller rooms for himself. From then on, Tsem Rinpoche devoted all his time to looking after Khenso Rinpoche, from his medical checkups and diet to his travel arrangements and private audiences. Tsem Rinpoche looked after every aspect of his guru's daily needs. For example, as Khenso Rinpoche suffered from acute diabetes, Tsem Rinpoche spared no expense and effort in ensuring that Khenso Rinpoche always had the healthiest meals possible, cooked to specific dietary requirements and with less oil and salt. Tsem Rinpoche himself would monitor Khenso Rinpoche's medication on a daily basis and taste his food before it was served. To this day, monks in Ganden speak highly of Tsem Rinpoche's impeccable guru devotion, especially towards Khenso Rinpoche. They often cite the example of how Rinpoche invited Khenso Rinpoche to live with him and how a few years later he offered his entire ladrang up to Khenso Rinpoche. Tsem Ladrang became known as Khenso Ladrang. All right, so even Rinpoche's ladrang became an expression of his devotion to his teacher, because Khenso Jampa Yeshe was a lot of the older Tibetan monks have diabetes, which is quite common, and I don't know. I think most of you may not be aware. Diabetes is a condition where the actual condition is not so bad. It's just a sugar level thing. So, but what happens is it complicates other health issues. So, in order to make sure that a person suffering from diabetes is healthy, a person have to keep the diabetes in check. Because any additional health problems will be made worse by diabetes. And I was told. So Rinpoche went and did a lot. And he became, as it said in the text, legendary in the monastery, especially to the older monks. They said his devotion is superb. And they always praised him, the older monks, okay? The older monks who know about it will praise Tsem Rinpoche because they say that kind of devotion that Rinpoche has is like of old Tibet. Because these days, it's very rare to find a monk or lama who has that kind of devotion to make sure so many aspects of the lama is taken care of. So Khyentse Rinpoche his work became incredible. A lot of work, a lot of was done. He was able to give a lot of teachings. He was able to meet a lot of people, and his health was maintained. And that's what the monks are very, very impressed and had faith in Rinpoche. All right. Okay, limitless generosity. Very nice. A lot of Rinpoche's pictures, which is we're very lucky because what Rinpoche is unusual in a sense that, I mean, you know, he was raised in America, so he wasn't very familiar with the Tibetan protocols of a Rinpoche, although he was told. Khyentse Rinpoche always tell him that when you go out, you have to bring an assistant. Never go out alone. And at least one assistant, if not several, and because that's what a protocol of a Rinpoche should be, especially within the confines of the monastery. And then there's a lot of work you can, as a Rinpoche, what you do is you delegate your students, because when he was a Rinpoche, monks were given to Rinpoche to be students in the monastery, was delegated to him, so they became his house monks and his ladrang monks, and then he could ask them to do work. But a lot of work that Rinpoche did, he went personally to do it. And what Rinpoche find a lot of joy in doing is charity work. And he would go to the villages around the monastery, and he will find the poorest Tibetans and Indians, and he would raise funds, he would feed them, he would clothe them. He did a lot of work, even in the monastery. And that was out of protocol, actually, for Rinpoche. And the Khyentse Rinpoche appreciated what he did, but he also said that's not how Rinpoche should be. You should send your monks. But he did it anyway. He did it personally. So there's a lot of pictures surviving from that time. We're lucky, and some of them are a bit poignant, like this family who was sponsored by Rinpoche. They were very, very poor, and the kids were sent to school, and then Rinpoche sponsored their groceries and stuff like that, so that they have good meal. And unfortunately, what I remember Rinpoche said when he saw this picture, the story is a bit sad, because when they were cooking, the house caught fire, and a lot of them died in the family. So Rinpoche did a lot of work, and this is something that it's a part of Rinpoche. Wherever he goes, he does things like that. Okay, even in the monastery, even as a Rinpoche, and Rinpoche didn't really care, and that's how Rinpoche is. Okay, that became, I would think, the impetus or the start, the spark that became what Rinpoche would do in Malaysia as the department known as Kechara Soup Kitchen. Anyway, carry on. Rinpoche also, within the monastery, Rinpoche worked a lot to sponsor the monks. And how Rinpoche worked to sponsor was to write. Okay? To write to sponsors, to write to different people. So Rinpoche wrote a lot of letters by hand at that time. And there's a lot of pictures here. Oh, there's a nice story here of how Rinpoche met Gangchen Rinpoche. Right now, because Gangchen Rinpoche has entered the clear light, and so this is a very poignant thing. Should I read it? Yeah, 2 pages, why not, right? Meeting a Mahasiddha, page 244. Page 244. After his ordination in Dharamsala in 1987, how old were you in 1987? Tsem Rinpoche traveled to Kathmandu, Nepal, where he met a Lama who would profoundly shape the course of his life. At the time, Rinpoche was staying in Samten Ling Monastery, this is by Bodha, and befriended a Caucasian Tulku staying in a room just next to his, whose Lama was His Eminence Kepche Gangchen Rinpoche. A few days later, Rinpoche was standing on a busy intersection in Tamil, a tourist backpacker haunt in Kathmandu, when a taxi approached with a bearded Tibetan monk in the front seat. Rinpoche waved. Rinpoche, when he said it, he said he doesn't know why, but he was very attracted to the Lama and he just waved. And the taxi came to a halt right in front of him. The monk asked, "Who are you?" It was Gangchen Rinpoche. Rinpoche replied, "I don't know why, but I want to meet you." Gangchen Rinpoche said, "Come to my house this afternoon," and gave Rinpoche his address. So something in Rinpoche connected with Gangchen Rinpoche. Actually, before this incident, the white Caucasian monk, the Caucasian means Kwailola, the white Caucasian Tulku told him about Gangchen Rinpoche, and they were supposed to together go meet this Gangchen Rinpoche, but something happened and they didn't get a chance. So even when he didn't get a chance because Rinpoche made the wish, so somehow when he saw Gangchen Rinpoche on the street, he just connected. Probably it's a Lama's thing, a psychic connection. When Rinpoche arrived at Gangchen Ladrang that afternoon with offerings of fruits, Gangchen Rinpoche stared at him and suddenly proclaimed him to be an incarnation of a high Lama and instructed him to seek recognition from the monastery. This would be the first of many unusual instructions that Gangchen Rinpoche would give Tsem Rinpoche. Gangchen Rinpoche was also the one who advised that a biography should be written about Tsem Rinpoche's life, as it would be a source of inspiration to others. Rinpoche visited Gangchen Rinpoche many times over the years and received many esoteric teachings and initiations. He was frequently asked to give spontaneous talks to an assembled audience, oftentimes on topics he was unfamiliar with. Although Rinpoche was reluctant to teach, he would do so out of guru devotion. Despite his age, Rinpoche's teaching style at the time was very traditional, serious, and formal, following the scriptures to the letter without any of the jokes or contemporary teaching methods that he is so loved for today. One day, Gangchen Rinpoche gave him a friendly slap on the arm and told him, "Relax, you're too old-fashioned. If you're old-fashioned, it'll be difficult for you to connect with your students." Rinpoche took his advice to heart and eventually developed a modern, witty, and often entertaining style of teaching the Dharma that has proven so popular with today's spiritual seekers. It was only years later that Rinpoche realized Gangchen Rinpoche had been preparing him for his role as a Dharma teacher. In fact, on one of their trips together, Gangchen Rinpoche instructed him to give a talk about the history of a temple to a group of 50 Malaysians. This would be his first connection with Malaysia and heralded the beginning of a new phase of his life. Okay, this was way before Rinpoche came to Malaysia. He was just a young Lama, young monk. Okay? Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of, actually I recall, because this is in my other, I have a book called Tales My Lama Told Me. I have a better account of this in a sense that it was from Rinpoche's telling. There's one or two chapters about this, and one of them was how, it's called Endless Dharma Talk, and how Gangchen Rinpoche would make Rinpoche give a talk spontaneously. Like this temple one, Rinpoche told it with a lot of detail, okay? So it was very interesting because when Rinpoche, suddenly only Gangchen Rinpoche said, "Okay, give a talk now." And then Rinpoche would look at him and say, "I don't know this temple." Rinpoche said, "I don't know this temple." So, and then, "No, you give a talk, you know." So Gangchen Rinpoche would just spontaneously make Rinpoche talk, and then so Rinpoche would look around, and then he start talking about the deities on the altar, and then the significance of the deity, and then he would give a whole Dharma talk based on the altar, lah. And then when he was done, then he would look at Gangchen Rinpoche, and Gangchen Rinpoche would say, "Not yet, continue. You have more to say." So Rinpoche would go on, and then he would look, go back and forth, and then finally, what happened was Rinpoche said that he just let go, and then he just went on and talked, and when he finally decided to go on, Gangchen would say, "Okay, let's do dedication." So Rinpoche had a very cute, very nice account of this. And coincidentally, his first teaching, this kind of spontaneous teaching, was to a group of Malaysians. So Rinpoche traced his connection back to Malaysia through this one. But the one to actually ask to come to Malaysia was actually the Malaysian monk he met in Bodh Gaya, which probably will be somewhere later. Okay, if you look on Rinpoche's blog post on the Bodh Gaya Vajrayogini, that was the first request from a Malaysian for Rinpoche to come to Malaysia to give teachings. Okay, that was the connection from Malaysia side. From Rinpoche side, the connection began with Gangchen Rinpoche's Malaysian group of students there. And apparently the Malaysian group was very, very happy, and they gave ang paos to Rinpoche, and Rinpoche didn't know what it was. He's never seen ang pao before. So, the Chinese ang pao, the red packet, yeah. So it was, Rinpoche initially thought it was sweets because it was very bright, and then it turned out to be something more. It was money inside. So Rinpoche, it helped Rinpoche that time, So it was very nice. And then there's a lot of pictures here. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures here of Rinpoche's giving teachings to Malaysians in the earlier days. And, this part is very nice. Okay, the next section is on Guru Devotion, 247. I helped write some of these, I remember, to be inserted in this book, because Rinpoche, we asked Rinpoche, we asked a number of questions about Rinpoche's teachers, about his connection to various teachers. Let me choose one or two to read. Not the whole thing, lah. You can read it. You can read it yourself, the whole thing. Let me see. Oh, they're very short. Okay, I'll read on Drigung Rinpoche, since we've been talking about him. Drigung Rinpoche, let me choose two more. Drigung Rinpoche and Shapa Choje and Lati Rinpoche. How's that? Okay, let's start with Lati Rinpoche. His Eminence Kechara Lati Rinpoche of Ganden Shatse Monastery. His Eminence Kechara Lati Rinpoche was a disciple of His Holiness Kechara Trijang Rinpoche and His Holiness Kechara Song Rinpoche. He was the abbot of Ganden Shatse for 8 years and remained a pillar of the monastery throughout his life. His wise counsel was highly sought after in the monastery, and he gave Rinpoche much personal advice, teachings, and divinations, including the Yamataka initiation. It was Kechara Lati Rinpoche who insisted that the 27-year-old Rinpoche travel abroad to teach and raise funds for the building of much-needed monk quarters for Pukang Kamsen, and who cried tears of joy when Rinpoche returned successfully from Malaysia. In 2010, Rinpoche dreamt of Kechara Lati Rinpoche blessing him in a tantric manner, which was a final blessing from this great master before he entered clear light. You see, when the Lama is passed away, right? So he enters into a subtle body. Subtle body means he has no form. So he's able to connect with the students better at that time. And that's why a lot of us, like for Tsem Rinpoche, a lot of people had dreams. A lot of people feel moved by Rinpoche's passing. I mean, of course, we like Rinpoche and all that, but we feel moved and normal because we are connecting with Rinpoche. Rinpoche's subtle body, and so he has blessed us in a certain way. All right. So same thing. Kechara Lati Rinpoche blessed Rinpoche, and Rinpoche had a dream. So Lati Rinpoche appeared to him in a dream and did a tantric ritual blessing him in the Vajra. So what happened is Lati Rinpoche is very important for us in a sense that he was the one who told Rinpoche that you have to come to Malaysia to raise funds. At that time, Rinpoche was a young monk, young Lama, and Rinpoche said that, no, I'm not qualified. Rinpoche was very young. Can you imagine you're 18 years old, 19 years old, or whatever? Let me see. 1993, somewhere in his early 20s, okay? So, can you imagine at that young, you've been sent out to a foreign country you don't know of to raise funds? So, of course, Rinpoche would react the way he did. And and some more he's American, Rinpoche is American, so he was very brash. Brash means very direct and open about what he's thinking. So Rinpoche said, no, I'm not qualified. And he said he will not go. And then Kechara Ladron is like, how can you talk to me like that? So they have an exchange, a debate, back and forth. Finally, Rinpoche said, okay, instead of going on and on, it's kind of rude. He realized it himself. So what he did was he told, I will only go if the protector said so. Okay, so Lati Rinpoche was like, oh, you will, don't forget. So Lati Rinpoche actually arranged a trance the next day itself. Usually, trance don't happen, you don't propitiate the protector come, take trance any other day when, it's usually happen 1 or twice a month only, a specific day, an official day. So, but Lati Rinpoche is a very important Lama in the monastery. So he managed to arrange it, and Tsem Rinpoche was like, oh no. So what happened was the protector took trance and said, yes. And Rinpoche also said in his retelling of this story, he said that at that time he said to consult the Dharma protector because he was so sure that the protector was saying no, it's not a good idea. But the protector said, yes, you should go. And so because when the protector said he should go, so he said, okay, he let go and he came. So he went. So his connection that time was this monk, Reverend Kuhn. And then also Lati Rinpoche made connections for him through Gelet Rinpoche. And so a whole teaching tour of Malaysia happened. And some of the senior students of Kechara right now are familiar with what happened that time. All right. So this is our special connection with Lati Rinpoche. And in fact, when Lati Rinpoche passed away that time, his relics is brought to Kechara, by the way. It is sitting in Kechara house right now. Okay? So he's a very, very important Lama to us. Okay, that's Lati Rinpoche. And who else I wanted to speak? Okay, Shapa Churje. His Holiness Shapa Churje Jesun Losang Nima of Ganden Shatse Monastery. His Holiness Shapa Churje Jesun Losang Nima, the Dharma Lord of the East. Shapa Churje is, because in order to ascend to be Ganden Tripa, who is Ganden Tripa? If you don't know who Ganden Tripa is, in our tradition, in the Gelug tradition, the highest Lama is not an incarnate Lama. It is a position Lama, meaning you have to ascend to the position. So it's rotated between Lamas, I forgot how many years, 5 years, 4-5 years, yeah? So please correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you online. So what happens is, it is rotated between another 2 elected positions of Shapa Churje and Jangse Churje. Shapa representing the east. In Ganden, there's east and north. Jangse Churje is the north. So east and north points representing the 2 disciples of Lama Tsongkhapa. Because Ganden Tripa is a position representing Lama Tsongkhapa's position in our tradition. So these 2 positions, Shapa Churje and Jangse Churje, represents Kedrupje and Gyasubje and Chijubje. All right? So this Lama ascended to the position of Shapa Churje, and Rinpoche translated his title, calling him Dharma Lord of the East. This is a translation of Rinpoche. Okay? Okay, I have some points here. This is from Yiman now. Hi, Jerry. Hi, just to say hello to you. Good morning. Yiman says, Pastor David, regarding the Lama's blessing through his appearance in our dream that you mentioned, how do we know if the dream is really a blessing and not mere dream? Iman, any dream of Dharma, whether it's Rinpoche, whether it's the Dharma protector, whether it's the Idam, it is a blessing. When you see a holy being in your dream, it is definitely a blessing. Definitely. When you see a holy object, let's say you dream of Ganden Monastery, maybe it's not a person or a statue or a Buddha, maybe it's a location, it's a blessing because you're dreaming about something Dharma related. Definitely has Dharma significance, Dharma blessing. When I say blessing, it's Dharma related because why? Our life is mostly samsara. Okay, our life is mostly samsara, meaning we're always going to work, we're always thinking about what we want to eat, what we want to shop, what we want to do, Facebook, YouTube, entertainment, mostly samsara. So when there's a bit of Dharma, any aspect is a blessing. It's always a blessing because it reminds us it's a blessing. It reminds us of the Dharma. It plants seeds of the Dharma in our mind stream when we see Dharma. Okay, even if it's just the Buddha, especially if it's your guru. If you dream of your guru, it's definitely 100% a blessing. 100%. All right? And it's very rare that we dream of our gurus, right? Most of you, how many times you dream of your guru? Very rare. So usually, and when I noticed during the time when Rinpoche passed away, that's when most of us dreamt of Rinpoche. I've never heard so many people dreaming of Rinpoche at the same time, usually. So it's a blessing, 100%. Jacinta, I wonder if Rinpoche can elaborate or tell more about Rinpoche's passing. But if that's too much, then it's okay. I will reach there in one of the episodes, all right? Maybe not today. Do watch, do follow, and then you'll catch it. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, I was talking about Shapa Choje. And Rinpoche said he was an accomplished master of the Vajrayogini Tantras. He's a Vajrayogini master. This is Rinpoche told me, yeah? Rinpoche said that he went into a 3-year, 3-month, 3-day retreat. He completed not once, not twice, 3 times. 3 times. That means he spent about a decade in Vajrayogini retreat. That's incredible. Rinpoche would serve this great Lama by cutting his nails, filing the base of his feet because, the calluses, the dead skin, and washing and perfuming with Dettol and washing his clothes. Despite his esteemed position, the 70-year-old Shapa Choje Rinpoche would attend all the teachings given by his guru, His Eminence Khenso Lati Rinpoche, even though Lati Rinpoche's monastic rank was lower than his. When Rinpoche asked Shapa Choje Rinpoche why he attended all the teachings, the Lama explained, I must plant Dharma imprints in my mind for the future. His humility had a deep impact on the young Rinpoche's mind. Okay, Shapa Choje, he's very, very accomplished master of Vajrayogini, and he's very humble. And even his teacher is Lati Rinpoche, the one I just read the story earlier. And even his rank is higher. He doesn't need to go for any monastic functions, any teachings, any pujas. It's up to him, but he would go anyway. Especially when his Lama give teachings. And you know what he say? Why he say he has to go? He has to plant imprints. Because the teaching that Lati Rinpoche gave, the actual story that Rinpoche told us, it was Lamrim. Can you imagine? Shapa Choje, he was a scholar. He's a incredible scholar of Buddhist philosophy, of Lamrim, of the Tantras, and yet he would still go for Lamrim teachings. Some of us, this Pastor Hani already taught this already, I don't need to go. I already passed this, I don't need to go. Some of us. This master, he will go even for the very basic teachings so that he will gain a blessing. Because he's a master of the teachings. So he knows the benefit of listening to the teachings will plant imprints in our minds. All right? So there's Lati Rinpoche, Shapa Choje, and the last one I wanted to read out is Drigung Rinpoche, Drigung Kyabgon Rinpoche, Jetsun Losang Chosen. His Eminence Drigung Kyabgon Rinpoche is a lay High Lama of the Kagyu school, an accomplished master of the Chakra Samvara Tantras, and one of the most highly regarded divination masters in Tibetan Buddhism. Rinpoche received the initiation of the triple deity practice Trakpo Sumtril Vajrapani Hagriu Garuda according to the Nyingma tradition from this great master. Highly clairvoyant, Drigung Rinpoche recognized Tsem Rinpoche as a tulku upon sight and issued an official proclamation on his personal letterhead. Drigung Rinpoche also has complete mastery of his psychic winds. Rinpoche has personally witnessed a very drunk Drigung Rinpoche enter a room, close the door, emerge completely sober after a short meditation session. Drigung Rinpoche was also well known for his ability to train oracles. Before he was officially recognized as a tulku, Tsem Rinpoche traveled to Leh, Ladakh, to train as an oracle under Drigung Rinpoche, undergoing numerous strict retreats in order to clear and prepare his psychic channels to accommodate the immense energy of the Dharma protector. Rinpoche wished to become an oracle because he thought he could best serve the Dharma and people in this manner. However, when he was officially recognized as tulku by the monastery, Rinpoche's plans to become an oracle came to an abrupt end. Okay, everybody understand this part? This story of Drigung Rinpoche. Drigung Rinpoche is not a Gelug Lama. Drigung Rinpoche is a Kagyu Lama. He is from the Kagyu tradition, and he is highly accomplished meditation master, highly clairvoyant, and he's married. And he is the picture I showed you just now. Let me show you his picture again. I'll turn to the page. He has a family. He has several children. One of them is a tulku. This picture, I hope you can see. This picture is on page 215. Drigung Rinpoche is the one seated. He's a lay lama. He has two daughters, one son here. The son is Ayang Druchen Rinpoche, who is also clairvoyant himself. He told Rinpoche that he's a Rinpoche. Okay, and then there's two daughters. If I remember correctly, the older one is right now the consort of Chijang Rinpoche. Chijang Rinpoche is also, in this life, he has decided to become a lay lama. So he returned his vows and he has took on a consort. Okay, in Tibetan tradition, when a high lama, like the level of Chijang Rinpoche, takes on a consort, meaning in lay terms, you say have a wife, but as high lamas is different. You do not say that out of respect. Not because they are high lamas, but because it's not what it appears. It's not because, they have desire and they want bubbly, they want kids. No, it's not that. It's because they have specific reasons of doing so. High lamas even the act of union can be a meditational practice. All right? Okay, there is something by J.C. Go. How about dream by question? Replying to Yi Man. What's this about? Okay, never mind. Okay, I guess you're referring to Yi Man, not to me, right? So I have no idea what you mean by that. It's okay. If you have further questions, just let me know, right? So, for example, like Cham Kushula, the consort in Tibetan is called Cham Kushula. It's a respectful term to refer to consort of the Lama. All right, they have a term for it to represent that kind of esteem because it is not a normal union. It's not a normal marriage. That's why you never say, the Lama's wife in translation in English lah. But in Tibetan, they have a term for it. They have a special reverence for it to show that they're not normal. It's not a normal marriage. It's not a normal union. And the children usually is not normal either. Usually among lamas, high lamas of a certain level, when they have children, usually it's high practitioners and sometimes Rinpoches themselves. Sometimes they give birth to Rinpoches, when they do that, why do lamas take on consort in order to give birth to Rinpoche? It's so they can pass on, easier to pass on the lineage to the lama, to pass on the lineage, to nurture the lama so that they become a good lama, all right? And yeah, so where was I? I was way past that. So I thought that was nice. And if you have any questions, let me know. Sorry, where was I? I've lost the page I was at just now. Since I have a bit more time, I'll read a little bit more, all right? I'll choose, let me see, Pabongka Rinpoche, Lama Zo, no, not Lama Zo, Dagom Rinpoche, Dragom Rinpoche, Lama Zopa Pabongka Rinpoche, no, not Panang Rinpoche. Let me read Panang Rinpoche because very few of us know who it is. And then Dagom Rinpoche and Pabongka Rinpoche. They're quite short each. They kind of edited my work, but never mind. I've written it longer, I remember. Mr. Lam, you have a question. Is His Eminence Khenso Rinpoche Losang Pende teacher of His Eminence Tsem Rinpoche? No, he is not. Khenso Rinpoche, Losang Pende, have a good connection with Rinpoche. They probably share certain lamas, I think. But he did not pass any teachings to Rinpoche. They are not connected in that manner. All right? Okay. Pabongka Rinpoche. Let me read this. In 1987, Rinpoche arrived at Ganden Shatse's Shapten Kang, a puja house, in Dharamsala on the same night as the abbot of Ganden Shatse at the time, Khenso Jampa Yeshe Rinpoche and His Holiness Kepche Pabongka Rinpoche. Learning that Pabongka Rinpoche was staying in the room next to his, Rinpoche gathered some vitamins he had bought from America, a kata and a small kuyung. Kuyung is a monetary offering, like an ampao lah. Okay, basically, for us it's red packet. For them it's a long envelope with some auspicious writings and pictures outside, and offered these to Pabongka Rinpoche. The young Pabongka Rinpoche advised Rinpoche, whenever you travel, always remember that your guru and your protector are one. When you recite the mantra of your protector, remember he is your root guru. Tsem Rinpoche also received the oral transmission of Medicine Buddha's mantra from Pabongka Rinpoche, who advised him to engage in this practice every single day while visualizing Medicine Buddha and the guru as one. So this teaching is something that Rinpoche passed on to all of us, and to visualize the protector or visualize the deity, especially Medicine Buddha, as one with your root guru. When you do your practice, when you recite your mantra, it has more effect, especially if you have particular devotion to the Lama, to your guru. If your devotion to guru, then this becomes more powerful, more quicker to gain results. All right. Okay, that's Pabongka Rinpoche. Pretty short, pretty sweet. And we also, Rinpoche over the years have maintained a connection with Pabongka Rinpoche. I went to see him, I don't know when, about a couple of years back. I went with a group of Malaysians to Nepal, not a couple of years, maybe 4 or 5 years or more in Nepal. Because Pabongka Rinpoche is, right now, he's traveling back and forth between Nepal and China. And he has gone to China to give teachings, to meet the High Lamas, some of the High Lamas there, to receive lineages. But he's a very quiet Lama. He doesn't give a lot of teachings to a lot of people, but he has been traveling to China quite a bit, as far as I was told. All right, and yeah, when we went to see him, I've seen him twice. Once many years, 10, 15, my earlier pilgrimage in 2003, I think. 2003, yeah. and recently, about 4-5 years ago, I think, and he has put on weight. He looks a little bit like his previous life. This is the third Pabongka Rinpoche. Yeah? The one that taught the Lamrim is the first. Then the second one, who passed away very young in India, when they went to India, when the Tibetans went in India, he passed away halfway there. And then the third one came, and this is the one. Okay, he is, I don't know his age, but I think he should be in his 40s, 50s. Not young, not old either. All right, pretty good age for a Lama. And we made offerings to him. I remember that time because it's Pabongka Rinpoche, so I don't know, I just brought a Lamrim along. I tried to find a Lamrim, I bought a Lamrim and I offered Lamrim to Pabongka Rinpoche. So it was nice. Rinpoche made a lot of offerings. I remember Rinpoche offered a really big Vajrayogini statue and a lot of silver bowls, a lot of offerings. Usually when Rinpoche connect with lamas, right, he will definitely make offerings and all the time. Since that time when he was young and he had no money, so he only had vitamins, so he just offered the vitamins. Then later when he had a little bit more sponsorship from students, he offered more. All right. Why do we make offerings to lamas? Like offering items, like for me, I offer Lamrim. It's not they need the Lamrim. Pabongka Rinpoche does not need the Lamrim from me. He does not need the Lamrim. Pabongka Rinpoche does not need the Vajrayogini statue. It is not. It is so that you create the cause to receive Vajrayogini. Actually, Rinpoche was making on behalf of us. It is for us to receive Vajrayogini. It is for us to receive merits. The offering items represents generation of merit, right? It's for us to receive merits. So, and we offer medicine to receive healing. It is important if you share the Dharma, for those who are pastors, if you share the Dharma a lot, one of the good things to offer is medicine, because it's healing. So what we're trying to do when you teach the Dharma is to help people, to heal them. Of course, not heal their body. Dharma is not really for the body, it's to heal the mind. So the Dharma is like medicine. So when you offer medicine on your altar, you create a cause to be able to heal people, spiritually, mentally, and physically. More important is mentally and spiritually. Okay? So, that goes for the rest of you, because, just because we're a pastor means we have to teach. No, even for you guys who is not pastors, you share the Dharma. You want to bring people to the Dharma, right? Your family members, your loved ones. That's how you create a cause. You offer medicine on your altar. All right? That's one of the benefits of offering medicine on your altar. Okay. Pabongka Rinpoche. What was the other Lama I wanted to read? Dagon Rinpoche. Oh, Dagon Rinpoche is another one. Dagon Rinpoche. Okay, Rinpoche has a very unusual pronunciation of his name. It's spelled D-A-G-O-M, but when you hear Rinpoche pronounce it, it's different. It's Tragum. Tra is a T-H-R sound. It's a very heavy tra sound. So Tragum Rinpoche, but the actual spelling is Dagom. So I think this is transliteration from the Tibetan script. So I'm not so sure how you pronounce the name, because I think most of you will probably have not heard Rinpoche pronouncing his name. So I always got confused. So it's Dragom or Dagom. So, but it's just Tibetan lah. It's a sound that you cannot translate into English. Okay, let's start. Another of Rinpoche's gurus was the erudite master, His Eminence Kechara Jagom Rinpoche, from whom Rinpoche received teachings on Lama Tsongkhapa's entire corpus of written works. Jagom Rinpoche taught for 8 hours a day and took 3 months to transmit all 18 volumes of Lama Tsongkhapa's writings. The teachings were conducted in Drepung Monastery where there was no electricity, and Rinpoche would fan Dragom Rinpoche for the entire duration of the teachings to keep his guru comfortable. Rinpoche also received quite a few other oral transmissions, initiations, and empowerments from Dragom Rinpoche, as well as Dorje Shugden Sokte as a blessing. In 2005, Rinpoche traveled to Nepal on pilgrimage with a group of Malaysians. I was one of them. On that trip, Rinpoche received teachings from Dragom Rinpoche on the iconography of 3 high lamas who were previous lives of Dorje Shugden, and an explanation of how to include Dorje Shugden in the Gelug lineage tree. In accordance with Dragom Rinpoche's instructions, special tankas were painted and are now part of Rinpoche's private collection. So for Dragom Rinpoche, he's a lama. He's a huge Dorje Shugden lama, huge. He wrote a lot about Dorje Shugden, and he was the main proponent, because he's a very high lama, so people take him seriously and his writings. And he wrote why it is important. He wrote in one of his books why it is important to put Dorje Shugden in the lineage tree. If you see traditionally in the lineage trees, you do not put. Generally, you see the normal traditional protectors like Namtose, like Kalarupa, the 3 forms of Kalarupa. You see Mahakala, you see Padan Lamo, but you do not see Dorje Shugden. He was the main proponent, debating, using scriptural basis to explain why it is important to put Dorje Shugden there now, because it is his time. So Rinpoche got the teaching from him, and also the instructions on how to, the iconography of the 3 lamas, previous lives of Dorje Shugden. Do you know who they are? Dolzen Drapa Gyaltsen, Panchen Sonan Drapa, and Tuku Drapa Gyaltsen. Okay, from that, Rinpoche painted tankas. I see some questions, and let me see. Suzanne Teo, I hope I got your name right. Tiao Teo. Hi, good day to you too. Sharon Ong, would gifts to lamas have any symbolism? For example, mala, Buddha statues, vitamins, etc. Meaning symbolism to who? Gifts to who, as in from the lama to us or us to the lama, Sharon? So if it's from the lama to us, usually it's what, different lama is different. Every lama is different depending on how the gift was given, and it could be selected by the assistants. But in Rinpoche's case, he selects all the gifts. He's the one always having, Rinpoche has a personal cabinet, okay? It started as a cabinet. It started as just 1 or 2 shelves, I remember in a long time ago. Rinpoche started a gift shelf one day, he just started it. And then he put in like statues, malas, Dharma items, then he expanded it. And then it expanded to a point where it became a whole warehouse, where it's chock full of gifts, and a lot of gifts that people offer to Rinpoche would use it to offer to someone else. And when Rinpoche gives the gifts, it's usually with a little note, at the very least a little note, or a verbal message to the person. Sometimes advice, sometimes it's a premonition. And the gift itself, usually Rinpoche would select it himself. And you know how Rinpoche select gifts? He would ask us, some of us nearby, his assistants, attendants, who is this person? Sometimes he see on a person on a CCTV, or sometimes people will say, like other people in the organization, sometimes they will tell Rinpoche, they met this person and there's a picture, and then Rinpoche would have a feeling. So he would ask us, who is this person? What does he do? And what kind of person he is? What kind of family? As much as we know. So from what we know, what we tell Rinpoche will get a feeling. And so what happened is, when he has that feeling, he will go to the shelf, and then we will help Rinpoche with a tray, and then Rinpoche will just select. And then sometimes Rinpoche would select, and then he would change his mind, he would put it back and he would take something else. And I don't know, I guess it's his premonition. So, and then he'll write something, and if it's an important message, he will write it down, or he'll voice message that the person will hear it. Sometimes they are going through a crisis, sometimes they have a black magic goals or whatever the Rinpoche has a feeling about, he will write it, and it's always accurate. And so it will be delivered to the person. So that's how Rinpoche gives gifts. All right. So from the Rinpoche side, from the Lama side, okay. From on the other hand, from the person receiving it, occasionally there is special significance. I mean, if it's a Buddha statue, of course, it's a Buddha that we should pray to, that we are connected with. That it should be our practice usually. I've heard that people who are eventually became very connected to Tara, they will get Tara instead of other Buddhas. You know, sometimes Rinpoche will be giving Doji Shudun Doshin, then suddenly there'll be a Tara or Amintayas or a medicine Buddha. Then there will be a special significance for their practice. Then sometimes Rinpoche will be giving a lot of medicine to a particular person, health supplements. And I've heard that this person later found out, oh, this person has an illness. So, you know, it happens that way. If you're talking of this kind of significance, I guess that's what you mean, right? So, yeah. And Carmen has a very nice thing to say. Carmen says here, yes, Rinpoche always personally selected and blessed the gifts he gave to his students and others. He would spend hours doing it. Oh yes, very good, Carmen. All the gifts Rinpoche gives, he would bless them. And how does he bless them? He would recite prayers. And many of the times, especially Buddha images and malas, prayer items, Rinpoche would recite certain mantras. I have no idea what mantra Rinpoche would recite. He would never let us know. He would never recite it out aloud that we will know. He would recite it and he would blow on it. Of course, it will be his personal yidam, the mantra of his personal yidam. All right? Okay, so where was I? Drigung Rinpoche. Oh yes, Drigung Rinpoche. Drigung Rinpoche. You see, Rinpoche, I think I explained it the last session. Drigung Rinpoche, our Rinpoche, Tsem Rinpoche wanted to be an oracle. Because he has always had this wanting to benefit others. He's always geared that way. He's always thinking that way. And in order to be of best benefit in his young mind, he thought, what better way than be an oracle? Rinpoche had always been fascinated by oracles. So he would sneak off, and he likes to go to watch trances. Sometimes when he's a public one, he will go and attend it. There's even a video of Rinpoche attending one of the trance of Dodi Shukin, if I'm not mistaken, with Gangchen Rinpoche in it. I remember, and a young Tsem Rinpoche is in it. I remember we posted that a couple of years back. It's very interesting. So Rinpoche wanted to be an oracle. So he actually he went to Drigung Rinpoche to be trained. That was why he went to Drigung Rinpoche, because Drigung Rinpoche is an expert in things like that. He is highly clairvoyant. He is a master of his psychic channels. Most likely 6 yogas of Naropa. Most likely a master of 6 yogas of Naropa. Which deal with the movement of the psychic channels. And so he's able to gain clairvoyance. How you gain clairvoyance is you move your psychic channels to the central channel. That's the purpose of higher tantra, to move your winds to the central channel and dissolve it there. That is the main part of higher tantric sadhanas. And that is a process of death as well. But when you do it, you don't die. There's special methods. I'm not an expert in it, but I know generally what happens. All right. So he is an expert. That's why he's able to do that. And Rinpoche had witnessed it many, many times. One of them was mentioned here, in which he's totally drunk. Totally, like he cannot walk straight. You can smell alcohol in his breath. And he doesn't talk straight as well. We know when you're drunk, you just ramble on and you're intoxicated. So Drigung Rinpoche was like that. He's a lay lama, so he drinks. So when he drank, and then Rinpoche witnessed it when he went into the room. He did a certain meditation. When he finished, he came out totally sober. He can walk straight. He can talk straight. There's still alcohol in his breath, but he doesn't exhibit any signs of intoxication. That's amazing. That's the amazing part of that kind of meditation. You can control your body that way. There are more things you can do, not just that, but that's not the point of this. This lets you know of the qualities of Drigung Rinpoche, all right? He is still alive, and we're in connection through Beng Kui with this Lama. All right, so, okay, I have another question from Yu Sing. I think it's a question, let me see. Pastor, Rinpoche had many gurus. Did Rinpoche seek out his gurus that has reincarnated? Does the guru's disciple relationship and commitments traverse different lifetimes? You saying yes. Many of the teachers, especially Song Rinpoche has connection with. No, the commitment does not traverse through incarnations, meaning, for example, Kechara Song Rinpoche gave the practice of Dorje Shuten to Rinpoche. And by protocol, if Rinpoche wants to not practice Dorje Shuten, he has to go back to Song Rinpoche. He cannot go back, this is what Rinpoche told us, you cannot go back to the incarnation. If your Lama had entered clear light and passed away, no one can change not even you. You cannot change your Lama's instructions because it is, as Dorje Shuten called it, your Vajra instruction of your Lama, your Vajra command of your Lama. So when it's a Vajra command, it's sealed by Vajra, meaning it's sealed by Samaya. Okay? So it's a special commitment, it's a spiritual commitment of you to continue the instruction for the rest of your life. Okay, so when the Lama had passed away, the new incarnation cannot do anything. Cannot change the previous life, what was instructed by the previous life. All right? So if you have a particular instruction from Rinpoche, you have to carry on. That it becomes your sadhana. You should have taken on as a commitment, as a spiritual commitment. Don't think of it, because Rinpoche said like that. Maybe it's something small, like feed the birds every Monday, for example. Then you do it. You do it every Monday. You do it as long as you can, as much as you can. And if you break it, go back to it. Like a sadhana, when we break our commitments, what happens? Let's say when we have broken, let's say a sadhana, what happens is let's say you overslept, right? Then the next day you continue. Just because you broke once means you don't need to do for the rest of your life? No. If you've broken your commitments, continue. When you continue, you make amends. Let's say let's say you forgot to do, or you overslept for 3 days in last week. So you do 3 extra times. This is what you mean by commitment. So you repair it and you continue. Okay, don't because you've broken, because a lot of us, especially when it comes to our sadhana, I don't feel like doing, or I've broken already, no need already, no need to do, of course, you don't tell us to anybody, but some of us are thinking that. Anyway, okay, there's another comment from Carmen. Training to become an oracle would be really painful process, especially when cleansing the channels. Did Rinpoche share about how painful the process Rinpoche went through was, if it was? Carmen, as far as I know, the training that Rinpoche went through was to the point of retreats only. As far as I know, not beyond that. And Rinpoche had not explained, not to me at least, not to me, whether he went through the later phases. Because what happened is, in order to be an oracle, you need to do the retreats first. Yeah, you do the retreats first, and the main one, Lama Tsongkhapa, Dorje Shuten, and Yamataka, if I remember correctly, for Dorje Shuten. So these are the 3 retreats, and each time you finish the retreat, the Lama will have to assess whether to do more retreats or to carry on with other things, other commitments, other training methods. Because after that will be the Lama will summon you to do trance already. As far as I know, you to do trance. So each time you enter into trance, it will not be Dorje Shuten initially. It will be the entourage, and the entourage will enter, go in and out, in and out, in and out. And sometimes, and then later on, at the beginning, it will be summoned. There will be the Lama will do the ritual to invoke the deity to come. But later on, the deity themselves will keep coming at 24 hours. And how we know is because Rinpoche himself was training oracles in the past. All right, and that was what happened. So as far as I don't know if Rinpoche had experienced that But I would assume that Rinpoche did not. And if Rinpoche did, it would probably be very little. Why there is pain, you don't know why is there pain or not. It's because there's pollution in the channels, because the person is unclean. How the person become unclean, it is not that the person has bubbly, it is not bubbly. It is not because the person had eaten something dirty, but there are foods that does pollute the channels, yes. Not so much as that. It's actually the emotions. Our negative emotions, our self-cherishing mind pollutes our channel. And when we have emotional obstacle, that's when we have knots in the channels. Okay? So that's the main one. Second is the food. Some foods does affect. So the oracle has to maintain a certain diet, which is true. But it's not so much as that, it's actually so someone like Rinpoche who is more pure within insight, his intention, then his channels will be cleaner compared to us. So I would imagine that if Rinpoche went through that part of the training, he will have less pain. I would imagine that. All right, so I've answered your question and I've reached the end. Any more last minute questions? You have 1 minute to post it. So let me know. I'm watching the screen. I don't see anything. So, did I answer your question? Oh yes, traverse different lifetimes using I did. So no questions from you guys, then I will end today. All right, it's 12:21. Right? Jangchu Central Rinpoche, Make Panan Kyushe, Geba Yama Mebayang, Gone Godu Pewasho, Tony Tonga Rinpoche, Make Panan Kyushe, Geba Yama Mebayang, Gone Godu Pewasho, Dazojene Sapage Wadi, Tanandroa Gonla Kamada, Jebo Jozo Lozon Drabae, Tamping Borodosa, She Sho, Kewa Gondo Yadan Lamada, Jemmy Joki Palan Long Choche, Sada Langi on the Rajoni, Doji Changi Ko Pang Yudosho, Gewadi, Yudoda, Lama Sange Juni, Juachi Malupa, Salagobacho, Chijabo Songaba, Josonama Bewala, Yakishamanjiwada, Tuni Maloshansho, Dadan Shenge Dosundan, Jewish Letini, Geo Lozon Drabai, Tamparinva, Yushi, Nimo Della Santella, Neme Goyan Della She, Yasantatu Della Bell, Contrason Jigulo, Contrasoing Odoso, Contraso Tashi, Show, Jason Lama Kusora She, Nakachi Kiki Padan, Losantami, Jomi Samsongi, Drukunso Tatuni, Yushi, Country Rawe Coaching, Pendant Dewa Malokin, Cherezik 110 in Gasoi, Shabe City Badu Den, Yuji, Hong to Beng or Malupa, then Dollar Service or Cotton Temple Lochona, gave us she shook then. So, thank you, everybody.